what would it mean to you if you were found guilty?
It would feel like a train wreck. They would order my arrest, and the Italian government would approach the American government and say, extradite her. And I don't know what would happen. You got a latte, right?
Oh, brilliant, thank you. You said that you've not been eating the last couple of days.
It's 5 days until the verdict comes, and so every day that it gets closer, it gets more difficult.
How much do you feel, since you've been released, you have been able to get your life back?
I am a marked person, and no one who's unmarked is going to understand that. Like, I don't even know what my place is anymore. What's my role in society? Who am I after this? After everyone has branded me, who am I? People ask me questions like, well, what about your behavior outside of the house the morning that you were discovered? Like, don't you think that they were justified in suspecting you? And it's like, no, I don't. I really don't. I have had people say to me, but again, journalists, they say the argument of, oh, you know, with this complicated case, you're never going to know what the truth is. No one's ever going to know what the truth is, and doesn't that bother you? And I'm like, well, I think that you can see what the truth is if you really want to see it.
How close do you think the Amanda from the tabloids, or the British tabloids in particular, was to you?
It matters that I am without emotion because it would mean that I am without feeling towards others. It would mean that I am psychotic. Being in this like complete criminal control of myself and other people. And that is absolutely foreign to everything that I am. It's absolutely necessary for the prosecution's case to make sense, but it's absolutely foreign to everything I am.
Did you ever start to believe in you?
To believe in what they said about me? No.
It's 4 days till the verdict. Amanda's friend, Madison Paxton, moved to Perugia to support her when she was in prison. I'm on my way to see both of them at Amanda's flat. I want to see her with someone she trusts.
I got there like the day before Thanksgiving, and then she got out in October.
Which is your favourite?
I like this one a lot. It's really good with honey. Okay, too much. Try that one.
What tea do you normally like?
Good working class, normal, non-poncy tea.
Oh, I have English tea downstairs if you don't have any.
See.
Can I have some green tea?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant, thanks. Were you two in touch in the first few weeks?
She made it sound amazing. Like, she was learning all these things. The city was beautiful. She loved everything. She kept, like, literally just listing things that she loved. And then she gets this amazing house, and she meets these amazing roommates, and she loves them, and they're all wonderful, and, like, not only are things amazing, but they're perfect, and they're getting better.
We had a little porch thing that was wonderful because it faced into the valley, and so like we could just, it was something that me and Meredith did, was we sunbathed on the terrace. And it was just like, I have a terrace and I can sunbathe and it's October. Like, how crazy is that? Like,
The picture that you paint of Amanda is quite different from the picture that we get to read in the press at home.
Yeah, and that should be the case, because what has been the person that was presented in the press, as someone who knew her very well and was reading this, I never recognized anything. The claims were all these, you know, anonymous friends were speaking to the press, which was not happening. And all the quotes were about her partying all the time, couldn't get through a day without a couple shots of vodka before classes, and joints every single day, and like listing friends of ours in our group that she'd had sex with, which she never did. So she was just portrayed as this completely out of control, wild party girl who wasn't able to have any female relationships. That was another thing that was being said a lot. So it just, I mean, there was just nothing in it. There was nothing that was like her. I mean, I can read an article about her now without almost having a panic attack or getting so angry. And back when this first started happening, it was impossible.
Were you always sure, Madison, in your mind that there was no way Amanda could have been involved in any way?
You can never completely know someone, and therefore maybe like even while I'm knowing this and I'm trying to say like is it possible, it's just not. So either she's the most amazingly impressively manipulative person with the weirdest long-term plan, or her textbook case of wrongful imprisonment. 25% of people who are like released from a crime or exonerated confessed. That's crazy, you know. That's
Right.
that's
And that's all different types of crimes. If you look
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
if you look at just murders,
79.
it's
or
well, no,
78?
it's 62.
Oh, 62.
It's
Okay, we have-
62% of people falsely confess.
What was that process? What was happening in your head? Can you remember?
They made it seem like the fact that I couldn't chronologically put everything in order according to a time made it seem like I had something wrong with my memory. And they kept saying, well, if you can't remember what you did between 7 and 8 versus between 8 and 9, then there's something wrong with you. And you're lying. And we know that you're lying. And then they told me that Raphael said that I wasn't there. And that completely threw me off, because like I couldn't understand why he would say that.
Which also wasn't true.
Which also wasn't true.
They lied to her and said that stuff was being said that wasn't.
There was this breakdown of, okay, well, you say you did this night, but we say that that's wrong. And Raphael says that that's wrong, and your cell phone says that that's wrong. You are wrong. You are traumatized. You don't remember. You need to remember, or else something horrible is going to happen to you. And through that process, it made me question my own memory. After so long of trying to make sense of what is impossible to make sense of, I said whatever they were putting in front of me. And it took them to stop yelling at me, for me to take a step back and go, wait, what just happened? Wait, am I even remembering that? I was so confused, and all I wanted was my mom. I kept asking, like, can I please call my mom? No. My mom is coming here. I need to talk to my mom. She was going to be arriving at the train station that morning. Like, I kept hearing my phone ring. They had the phone right in front of me on the desk, and it was my mom calling. I knew it was my mom calling, and she was going to freak out. I mean, it was bad enough, like, growing up when I, like, come home late from school and, like, she didn't know where I was. But, like, my friend had just been murdered, and now I'm not answering my cell phone, and, like, it's right there, and I want to answer it, and they tell me that I can't, and I'm freaking out, and I just want to talk to my mom. When I say that I was a kid when it happened, it's because I was a kid when it happened. I was not ready for that. I wanted my mom. And then you get into a place where my mom can't help me. I'm just in a place where no one can help me. I'm alone. And that's where I spent 4 years. Feeling like there was something wrong with me. I'm not sitting here gratuitously talking about this with you because I like the attention. Like, the only reason that I'm talking about this is because it happens, and it happens to anyone, and it can happen at any time, because this shit is legal. I mean, it's not making my situation any easier talking about this. When the prosecution is talking about how they need to reclaim the dignity of their police force, and they need to reclaim the dignity, and the only thing I'm doing right here is saying no. Like, there is no dignity to this. They did not treat me with dignity, and it's not making my situation any better because it doesn't make any of them look good. But it's the truth. One of the things that's really crazy about this story is that for some reason, compared to a lot of exonerees out there, people are paying attention to me. Most exonerees get forgotten. Most exonerees, like, the society puts the blame on them for some reason, and because it makes us uncomfortable, the idea that part of our social structure has destroyed the life of a human being. And for some reason, people want to know what happened to me. And so for me to not say something and to allow these things to go by without there being a testimony against it would be negligent on my part.
You talked about catharsis yesterday. You've experienced no catharsis, and this was after being acquitted, before the retrial. Do you think one reason that there was no catharsis was because there was such anger from Meredith's family?
The idea that they believe that justice for me automatically means injustice for Meredith horrifies me, because that is impossible for them to live with, and I hate that idea.
I think they've come around from thinking you were the killer to not thinking that, but they do think there was something that you knew, there was something that you were there. I know I've had so many people say this to me, and how do you think you overcome that? It can only be rooted in your confession, can't it?
Well, and I really believe that that's the case, that people think that there must be something wrong with me. Just like I thought for so long that there must be something wrong with me. Because how could anyone do that? But again, like, the only thing I can do is testify to what happened to me and hope that people could take a step back from their emotional investment and try to empathize. And you know, like, you don't have to believe me, but believe that it happens to other people.